Yay! It's another episode of Mr. Nailsin's not Sunday, Wednesday comics. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I've fallen behind on new comics, so I did some goblin stories and stuff like that. It's been a brutal week work wise, and I'm beaten down and exhausted. But I'm going to try to get through this and review some comics. Two Batman titles, Rook Exodus, uh, two issues of Nightclub, and Superman. Nothing against Superman, but I almost just forgot all about it, and I feel bad about that. But again, I'm all beaten down and broken and stuff. So let's just go. Oops, that ain't gonna work. What happened to there it is. Okay. There it is. So right off the bat, giggle, tee hee, get it. That's right. Right off the bat. Absolute Batman, which of the three titles, which is Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, and Absolute Wonder Woman, the Absolute Batman story wise and presentation is probably the best of the three. I haven't kept up with Absolute Wonder Woman, so I'll have to, catch up with it. But story wise, it was interesting. There were some intriguing elements of it. The art was very weak, even though some stylistic things of it kind of fit the idea of it being, ancient god narrative and that sort of thing. And then Superman, which had the best art out of all three, is just the worst, the absolute worst story. So I doubt that it's improved. It was two issues in, and I was like, well, I don't know if I can go through this anymore. So stuck with Absolute Batman, even though it gets a lot of praise. I don't think it deserves it that much, but it's just kind of weird and funky. And I guess that might go a long way. So anyway, here they had a guest artist, which does hurt the issue, but it's basically a filler issue that gives you more insight into Bruce Wayne and all that. So here we go. We're in court after Bruce's father was murdered. And of course, in the absolute universe, Martha Wayne survived. Yeah. Mr. Wayne, for the court's clarification this morning, Mr. Chill. Yes, we're going to go ahead and call him Mr. Chill. Was prepared to give a statement, but you requested to speak first. You said it was urgent. It's unconventional, but given the extraordinary nature of this case, I've granted you that right. You go ahead now, son. So, what is it you have to say? He's mad. So we skip around. Seems some gangs. This is actually showing you the earlier days of this version of Batman, which, all right, it's interesting because he's already heavily active when the series opens. So here we have some gangs doing a shakedown. Go on, convince me. Tell me why you three alone should be exempt when everyone else chips in. And some folks really have to scrounge. You don't want to know the things they do to contribute, right, Simon? Heartbreaking. But they have pride in this place, Historic Park Row. These days people are calling it Crime Alley. But upkeep takes money, so tell us. No, tell your neighbors out there. Why don't you care about your neighborhood, Mrs. Wynne? I care plenty. My mother grew up here, and I have 3 girls in school. Titty? No, Henry, it doesn't matter. I won't pay a gang. Mrs. Wynne, we're misunderstanding each other here. 10 Thieves isn't a gang. We only want to keep this place safe. Without proper funding, though, we just can't do that. So he shoves her off the roof. See? We don't stay vigilant and things get real unpredictable real fast. You never know what could happen. So the art is not really clear enough for what you need it to be. And it appears Batman prevented her from falling to her death. And so she's tossed back up. And this guy is like, huh? But, you know, you need a little more information about what happened here. You're not getting a full lay of the scene. But anyway, Hal and Ellie, see, you see anything? Or Cy, I guess. You see anything? Dun, dun, dun. See, in his early days, he went more for a vampire bat look. So they're in the red eyes and all that. Nah, Raph, nothing. And then here he comes and he gave out a little screech noise. Wait. And then he bites him, you know, with those vampire teeth you can get at the store during Halloween. Yeah. And then I guess he gassed him or something. I don't know. And he's foaming at the mouth. Brody, what'd he do to him, man? Hiss. And he's got little like Wolverine claws on his gloves. So he does that, you know, and they all get scared. So anyway, you get a view of absolute Batman in his early days, you know? And that's something. But that's about it. The rest, I wasn't all that wowed about you know, this absolute Batman issue. And really overall, I can't say that I'm all that blown away about the series as it goes in the DC attempt of achieving what the Ultimate Comics did for Marvel. But I don't know. But it's selling very well. So there's people liking it, you know, so there you go. So here we go. We get the regular artist back for this issue. And ultimately, the story is mostly about will Bruce take the deal that Black Mask offered him. Once again, we have flashbacks. And you're all done. Thanks, Leslie. And that's the last one? Yep, he's good to go. But you start growing fangs or pointy ears, mister. You call me right away. Got it? Okay, Dr. Tompkins. Leslie Tompkins. So this is Leslie in the Absolute universe. And I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so at the zoo, you know, Bruce, there was a flutter of bats and whatnot. So I guess he's getting his tetanus shots from being scratched and bitten by bats. Yeah. Otherwise, that should be the end of you and bats. So there you go. Here they have to set up this whole thing about how bats was early on. And in the previous issue, he demonstrated his engineering skills as he was designing a bridge based on the skeletal structure of bats and whatnot. So, okay, it's a different means by which he gets there rather than the original story where the bat flies through the window and he's trying to come up with some sort of identity that's scary and spooky to all the criminal element. Which not as good as it gets as far as those approaches here. All right. So he did that, and this involved bats at the time of his father's death and all that sort of thing. Other retellings of it where the Waynes were always involved with bats, and there was a bat cult and bat gods. It's stupid. This one, you know, it's a bit a bit much here and there, and it can become very cheesy very easily. But then again, those really bad ideas that happened before give it probably some help, because at least it's not as bad as that. You know. So here's the scene of his father's funeral, of course. And then we cut to current times, and there he is riding, Christian Bale's motorcycle. He revs the engine as he rounds 27th. Revs it louder at 39th, taunting them to try him. But they all just watch and let him pass. Oh, look, something happened here. Uh-oh. So there he goes. Look at him. He's daring them to blow up the deal. Some part of him wants them to, I'm sure. The bike has a tracker. Watching that dot, I half expect him to do it himself. Drive right past the meeting spot. But he doesn't. Instead, he stops right where he's supposed to and goes into the building. Well done. Of course, this is absolute Alfred, My handler calls just thin. They have what they need. He says I should leave now. I tell him I'm leaving, but I stay right where I am. And that's all. I thought there was another page. Sorry. So that's all you get of the actual action in this preview pages for Absolute Batman. Well, you can guess whether or not he takes the deal, so on and so forth. And of course it's predictable. The things about Absolute Batman is that a lot of it is so over the top that it's just weird. But I don't know how long that holds one's attention. But at least it's got that. I can't say the same for the other two. Kind of, sort of Wonder Woman, but not by much. And Superman, that just whole, Marxist preaching stuff. I just can't stand it. I'll doggone it. I forgot to. Okay. Hey, you know what? Fair is fair. I'll just go back and do it again. So there's the cover. Yeah. There's Black Mask. There's Alfred. There's Batman. Here, Bruce, of course, is getting his tetanus shot after being bitten by the bats at when his father was killed. And there's Leslie Tompkins telling him it's going to be okay and all that stuff. And she's just being a good doctor and hopefully everything's great, But the kid's father was just murdered in front of him. So... And so she gives him the shots and all that stuff, and then says that should be the end of you and the bats. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? So, of course, there's the funeral scene. And yes, the motorcycle. Boy, it looks a lot like Christian Bale's motorcycle from the movies, right? Yeah. So anyway, they're all getting ready for him to go take the money from Black Mask, and he can continue on with his bat crusade. He just can't interfere with them or that sort of thing. And with all that money, imagine what he could do. Well, we don't have to imagine, because the real Batman does have all that kind of money. But honestly, not from a deal with criminals. But how will it go? Can you guess? I'm pretty sure you can. But yeah, that's the deal. A. Thompson says, Doug, are you coming on Karmic's show today? No. Look, my time is extremely limited. I'm probably not going to be able to do the Doomcock show today. I'm barely getting through this. I've got a new ailment to deal with. This extra nights of work that I did gave me quite the beating. And sorry. Nothing against Karmic. He seems like a great guy, and I'm sorry I can't do his show. It's like Rob Saw. I can't do his show after all those years we did shows, but I'm just like, who am I kidding? I can't do it. So he will not charge you. Well, I certainly hope not. It's a good thing I didn't make the appointment, because you know how the doctor's office, if you don't show up, they still charge you. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but good Lord, you know, not going to make promises I can't keep that I already know I can't. Um, all right. Wait. Turn it off and close. That's it for absolute Batman. But don't worry, there's another Batman story to take a look at. And this one, which should have been called The Last Halloween, but you see that complicated title because it's another sequel to the original The Long Halloween Story, which was actually more cool in its atmospherics than actual story, but and we'll see where this one goes. Unfortunately, of course, due to the sad passing of Tim Sale, well, you get his artwork on the covers, but the interiors have a guest artist each issue. I kind of wish they had stuck with one. In fact, not kind of, really did, because they started off with Eduardo Riso, and I thought he was kind of, if someone had to step in for Tim Sale, I thought he was the guy, but he only did the first issue, So anyway, it's a Joker issue. So here we go with Bill Sienkiewicz. I always thought it was Sienkiewicz, but it's Sienkiewicz or Sienkiewicz, something like that. Of course, he came to a certain amount of fame in the comic book world on Moon Knight because he had a similar style to Neil Adams, but he's changed over the years, has gotten all wild. And this one, it's still interesting to look at, but he might have gone through this a lot faster than he did on previous. But then again, his art style was just getting wilder all the time. So I don't know, maybe it is just an aesthetic choice. So I am not ready. Not for him. Back inside, Joker. No, I don't think so, Batman. I've got all these wonderful toys, and I'm heading for the checkout. So the Joker has collected all the weapons of the villains in Arkham. So he's got the Riddler's staff there. He's got the Mad Hatter's hat. I don't know if the luau is supposed to be like something from Poison Ivy. And, Mr. Freeze's freeze ray, which is probably his most dangerous weapon. But anyway, only hours ago, I was splayed out on Alfred's surgical table. All you will accomplish is failure, like every other time. So you see, really exaggerated take here on Batman. My health cannot matter. Oh, bit off your game, dearie. I was expecting your very best. This is not about me. Still a smidge soft. It is about Gotham City. Always. What a glorious new year this is going to be. And me with my perfect resolution. Now that all the cuckoos have flown the nest, I'm gonna catch 'em all and prove I'm the best. Oh, I'm a poet and didn't even know it, but my feet show it. They're Longfellows. Get away from him, you psycho jackanapes. Yeah, Batman's in bad shape. And, like he said, he was wounded earlier, but, Jackanapes, someone's been diddling their thesaurus while staying here. Tell me something, kitty cat. Why hasn't the world's greatest detective found out what you're doing in Arkham when you could leave any time you wanted? He don't look too good. And unless you want to take him home as an ice sculpture, you're both going to close your eyes and count to 10 while I skedaddle out of here. No deals. Oh, wait, I forgot this part. These walls have ears, and some of them have been pierced. You can go, but you don't get to call this a win. He's got a punctured lung and a fresh 22 bullet hole that you didn't put there. Catwoman cannot reason with him. What? Everybody knows nobody gets to kill the Batman but me. Who broke the rules? Mario Falcone. That pipsqueak. He'll get his. Never show the Joker your hand. Since you gave me one, I'll give you one. Want to know who's responsible for the nuts nutting out of the nut house? It's a dilly. What did the Joker mean? That Catwoman could leave Arkham anytime she wanted. Yeah, well, he taunts and all that stuff. So, it's a much more intriguing narrative than Absolute Batman and all that. Of course, it's all much more recognizable and whatnot. Yeah, I don't think this was the best of Mr. Sienkiewicz, but it is what it is. But again, the title should have just been The Last Halloween, but it's still the same, play out of the different holidays and whatnot. And then you go, well, whose holiday this time? Because it's not exactly clear. And then, you got that going for it. But ultimately, not exactly won over entirely. Okie doodle. There goes that one. And then, we're going to move over to Ghost Machine, which is one of the best publishers right now. Publishers, what are applied for? They actually publish through Image Comics, but it's Jeff Johns' imprint and whatnot. And just about every title I've read out of those are top notch. Excuse me. And not just the artwork is also the best of the best, but also story-wise, all very intriguing and all that. And each one leaves you wanting to read the next one. And well, that sounds like success to me. What do I know? But anyway, so Rook Exodus, of course, is this science fiction tale about this colonized planet that this company invited all these people over there to terraform and everything. And then, I don't know, they decided to pull out and leave it, and it's falling apart. Meanwhile, they had these people that were assigned as wardens, they called them. And they, with their helmets, they're able to be mentally linked with the different animals that they represent. So the main character, Rook, is linked with these crows. And so there you go. But now some sort of war is broken out between the wardens, and one in particular has been murdering some of the others and wants all the helmets and this sort of thing. So, and more details come through here about what else might be afoot, of course. But this is basically kind of the end of the first story arc that began out with the series. So back on Earth, I was a farmer like my father before me. Coravide, their scientific language, that Coravide connection is that what with the crows, blind them. My dad died saving our animals from the fire that destroyed our farm. I'm out to save the animals from a fire too. Look out! So they're in this giant, I don't know, truck. It's enormous. But he controls our more and more. He's in cahoots with the birds at this point. And so they're attacking these guys, and they're going to, splat. Or I don't think they did smash into the window, but it blocked their view so much that they ended up crashing into some rocks and stuff. Of course, Exodus, which is the name of the planet, is a lot bigger than our farm was. Well, I would expect so. The birds take back to the sky to survey the area, this time without me telling them to. Instinctually, I do something I haven't done before. I thank them. So, yeah, though that's one of the things that's the dangers. Are you getting too connected to these birds? And the same with the other wardens with the animals that they control. But do they control them anymore, or do the birds control him? So on and so forth. And then it's like they're welcoming him into the flock, stuff like that. Yeah. So the ark leaves a scar across the land, cutting through forests and fields. I feel the flock's pain seeing other birds displaced. They want me to get to Ursaw, but I tell them the ark is protected on all sides. The birds remind me I only need one side cleared to get in. So I do my part. So he blows a hole through Ursaw's big, ginormous ark conveyance. Then does a yee-haw leap over it and all that. And of course, he's going to get in there. But anyway, lightning and everything. I liked it better when there were weather. Oh, I liked it better when the weather was scheduled. You could plan your days, count on the sun to shine, rain coming out of nowhere. It ain't right. The weathermen must be screwing with us, huh? This ain't the weathermen. Ursaw killed them all. The rain is the world engine falling apart, and the planet with it. Click. What was that? Ursaw's plugged the wildlife grid into his system. He wants us to hunt down the wardens, earn our own helms. We can see where they all are now, including Rook. Rook, I thought we burned him up. That reading says he's alive and he's heading right for us. How the hell is he going so fast? Rook can't fly. Oh, this is all backwards. I'm sorry. So, actually, that was the scene there. So anyway, there's the cover. So it's issue 6, and that concludes the first story arc. Of course, not getting into all the details that were revealed, but there's Ursaw controlling bears and whatnot. And I think that's actually a guest artist there, I believe. No, that's Brad Anderson. All right, so it's great. It looks great. It's a compelling story, and Ghost Machine, alongside Millerverse, two of the best comic book producers right now. With perhaps Conan the Barbarian edging them out here and there. Bloop. So there you go, Rook. Exodus. Wait, okay, yeah, we'll do this one. All right. All right. So there, it's all good. So, like I said, along with Ghost Machine, then there's Mark Miller's titles. And this one is the sequel to, obviously, Nightclub. And boy, a lot of terrible things have happened through our teenaged vampire superheroes. And of course, they also had the big game crossover series they did. And then they had their own story here. But everything really went to hell over the sad love triangle that happened. And basically, the girl's all that's left as the two boys were killed by the new gang of evil vampires. Since vampires tend to be evil, so you kind of got to wonder, hey, how do they stay being good guys? Well, But anyway, just Miller's gift for dialogue and sequences and whatnot. It's just another good series. So basically, she's trying to bring the boys back from the great beyond. So St. Luke's Hospital, Philadelphia. Excuse me? Here she is at the blood bank. What are you doing taking blood from the refrigerator? If I could just have a second to explain. Wait a minute. Are you Yellowbird from that nightclub thing? It said on the internet you guys were robbing banks now. What are you doing sneaking into the hospital? Well, she's robbing the blood bank. Okay, I'm sorry, but I don't have time to mess around here. So she uses her vampire hypnosis. Jeez, someone's banging around out there. My name is Amy Chen, and you are now under my control. I'm a vampire as well as a superhero, and I need this blood to save my friends' lives. Now you're going to forget you ever saw me here and go for a coffee while I'm filling up my backpack. Some of the animals that escaped from the zoo are in the waiting room. A family of fennec foxes, I think. Oh, I love fennec foxes. They look just like Baby Yoda. So there you go. And I guess that's the fennec fox. Yeah. So there you go. See, the vampiric hypnosis comes in handy. So anyway, 6 nights I've been trying to bring them back from the dead, but the damage was just too much. Danny was impaled on a solid steel chimney. Sam was burned alive in the sunlight. There was so little of them left I could carry them both in the same bag. But if vampires are real, so is the mythology, and I spent every night trying to find a way to bring my friends back. They were constantly resurrected in all the old movies and television shows. I just had to find a way that worked in real life. Well, of course, the movies and television shows are only loosely based on the folklore. But anyway, I tried spells I found on vampire fan sites and black magic talismans from an occult online store. Oh, yeah. Good Lord. But the only thing that seems to be working is an idea from the old Hammer and Bela Lugosi movies. Yeah, just dump a bunch of blood on them. Human blood poured onto their remains and left in the darkness while the bones soak it up. Will it work? Well, what do you think? But for all the bloody details, you'll just have to check out the issue yourself. But it's a good series. I had a lot of fun with it. And will they continue on? Well, they did for the next issue. Yeah. To bring closure to part 2 of Nightclub. Oh, yeah. There, we're all set. Okay. Oh, not Superman. I want this one. There we go. So, issue number 6. So, there's the guy they're going up against, and surprise, the boys are back. So that pretty much spoils it, but what are you going to do? Guys, I'm so sorry. I never wanted any of this to happen. We didn't bring you here to make you feel bad, Sam. We just came by to pick up the Hattori Hanzo replica swords I bought us. I even had them personalized. Best friend. I don't deserve to be your best friend, Danny. I know you said this isn't my fault, but I need to make up for all the terrible things Riso's gang has been doing out there. Because, granted, it's more of his stupidity and, well, the hot girl that was banging him and all that. He got distracted and wasn't paying attention to what was really happening, and inadvertently created all the bad vampires. Yeah. And it all began because he broke off from his friends because he had a crush on the girl too, but she liked Danny, and you know how it goes. Don't worry about the snakes. They just escaped from the zoo when Riso released all the other animals across the city. Did you know the cops caught a tiger in our old school? Fucking assholes. That's just malicious. I can't wait to beat the shit out of these guys. I'm going to take great pleasure in killing each and every one of them. You got a plan? Oh, yeah. So off they go. A batshit crazy one. So, don't worry, they're vampires, so it won't hurt. Meanwhile, well, it's okay. It's very violent, though. Maybe I shouldn't. Okay. Yeah, they had a little orgy while killing everybody at the nightclub. So the police show up. Okay, everybody back behind cars until we figure out what the hell the security staff called us in for. Charlie, kill the power inside and let's see if we can smoke them out. And then so the lights go off and vampires are eating the guests and everything. And they're like, huh? It's the cops. I can hear the radios and all the clips being loaded into their guns. There must be 20 of them, but they're really, really nervous. This is going to be hilarious. So he's zipping up after his little get together with his girlfriend in front of the whole room, you know? Yeah, there's still animals on the loose, so. Pardon me, officers, are you here for this little family of raccoons, or are you looking for us by any chance? Stay where you are and put your hands behind your head. Actually, I'm going to teleport over there and kick your skull clean off its shoulders. Then I'm going to rip your lungs out and cut his throat, and then my friends and I will be snacking on your insides. What do you say to that? On your knees! No! Is this a woman? So anyway, another cop shows up. What the hell? And what happens? Oh, well, a big battle ensues, with the good vampires and these bad ones. But don't worry. It turns out, even though it's, yes, a lot of this is Sam's fault, he comes through. Yeah, he does. But any more would spoil it. So do check it out. Nightclub is it's a good series. And basically, you can just bet on Mark Miller and you won't go wrong. A. Thompson, Doug. A. Thompson, we back from Carmex. A. Thompson, he quit his stream. He just quit it? I don't know. Was someone at the door or something? A. Thompson, any Netflix tips from Doug Nelson? No, I did see it gave me a notification. There's supposed to be this new Charles Manson documentary. And again, given time, I might check that. I've been catching up on Ozark in season 2, so that's what I've been doing. But until I'm finished with it, I'll talk about it in a video. Stealth Chaos, damn it, Doug, why am I always late to the cool parties? I don't know. These things happen. A. Thompson, we and Doug now. Stealth Chaos at A. Thompson, always on Doug in my heart of hearts. Karmic X is like the waiting room. Jeez. Is that why he quit? Just because mine was? I mean, look, the Wednesday comics, you don't have to watch it live. I mean, it'll be up there. Okay. Stealth Chaos, have you seen Ishii, the killer Doug? It's an extreme live action movie based on an original manga. No, I have not seen Ishii, the killer dog. Or Doug. Is it Doug? The guy's name is Doug? Or is it a killer dog? I didn't know if you misspelled or whatever. Hey, Thompson, Chaos. It's good. It's a better book. Stealth Chaos. That Manson doc is over a week old. Well, yeah, but it'll be new to me because I haven't seen it yet. Stealth Chaos. They all talking about adolescence now. Adolescence is a show? You know, and even going back when I was an adolescent, there is just way too much worship and obsession with adolescence. And that's why you've got tons of people who just cannot let go of their adolescence. I mean, they're well into their 50s. Now back to me reading comic books. I think, yeah, that should work. Let me make sure. Yeah. That was the last one. Superman. So let me make sure I did everything right. Okay, yeah. Superman, all in. Number 23. Not really, but it is now, I guess. Whatever. I guess Action Comics is the one where they have the proper numbering or whatever. Anyway, So in this story, the Time Trapper, which is an old character from DC Comics, has been revealed to be Doomsday, but from the distant future. And, well, he got on Ozempic and he's lost a lot of weight. But he's all intelligent and everything, and he's telling Superman that he must join him to prevent a horrible disaster or something. Of course, Superman doesn't believe him. Meanwhile, some aliens invaded, and they want to kill Doomsday of the current era, you know. And Superman is like, well, that's not right, you know, even though they probably are right, you know. But anyway, whatever. So now Time Trapper is trying to lure, you know, Super Lois Lane. She's Superwoman now. It's a long story. And he's frozen time, and Jimmy O's is about to be blasted by the aliens' energy. And he's saying, hey, you could save Jimmy, but you got to help me deal with this problem that Superman refuses to do. So I can save them. I know I can save Jimmy and Silver Banshee. Oh, yeah, Jimmy's dating Silver Banshee now. Yeah. Even if I stop the one blast, Radiant could continue his attack. But I know I can stop this. Are you trying to convince me or yourself? What do you want, Time Trapper? First you come to my husband offering some twisted deal. He turns you down, so you come to me? Did you know the moment your husband took my life, the last sound I heard was not his fist cracking my skull, or the sound of my body crashing to the earth? Gee, you're getting really small here. It was the sound of you, your tears, your howls of grief. And now we are here. Look, this is just the beginning of the dark future to come. There will be many more tears. If you help me, I will give Superman a better future, one of hope. So there's Superman battling another Doomsday, and that Doom, I don't know, this guy's stabbing him and whatnot. I don't know. These are the aliens. I can't even remember if this is supposed to be the future or if this is the alien attack, because the Radiant is the guy blasting him with. Anyway, there you go. He's showing her what could happen, and she's like, you're not making a convincing argument. Then consider this. I can show you the future. I can even show you the exact moment of your death. Of course, you want to know the great Lois Lane, the Inquisitor of Truth. Take my hand, and I'll show you everything. Blink, blink, die. Really? Then she slaps it away and punches him in the face. Yeah, no. Yeah, you go, girl. You dare? Do you have any idea what I could do to you? You're right. I did cry when Superman died. Who didn't? Well, you know. But those tears were not just about his death. They were because he died doing something he hated, something he never wanted to do, take a life. You pushed him to that. You have all this power and control over time, and yet here you are like some kind of time-traveling devil offering us our dreams in exchange for our souls. And that has made me realize something. You need us. So just cut the crap and do whatever it is you're going to do. As you wish. Your loss. However, I gave your husband a few extra moments before time restarted so that he could save you from Doomsday's attack. I will grant you no such mercy. No, Jimmy! Do you think she gets there in time to save Jimmy? Well, you know, you're just going to have to tune in to, you know, the Superman comic to find out if Jimmy survives, you know, and what does it all mean? Oh. Anyway, it is kind of interesting, you know. They throw one of these little curveballs, and it's a different look of Doomsday, and again, I guess they're retconning Time Trapper a little. Of course, I don't think you ever did get to see his face. So I guess all this time it was Doomsday from the distant future, you know. And So here they do this, unless they do it later where, nah, I just beat the crap out of Time Trapper and stole his clothes. He's laying around naked somewhere in the future. And then I showed up here to do this deal. Could be, but anyway, yeah, it's sort of interesting. And then it's got Dan Moore's art, so it's all right, I suppose. Week old adolescent stealth chaos. Your name is Doug, silly. I know. Stealth chaos. Itchy. They call it. I thought it was like. Well, that's right. Like Ichiban. Number one. Anyway, A. Thompson, the Manson stuff, it's from the 70s. Well, yeah. Oh, the mansion? Well, yeah, it happened. Well, actually, I guess the murders was in 69, but the trial would have been sometime in the early 70s. So, Stealth Chaos, it's a notoriously violent movie. The Manson thing. Is it a series or just one episode? I mean, one, film. I don't know. But, or is Itchy Doug like really violent? Stealth Chaos, Time Trapper Keeper. Yeah, that could be a possibility. Maybe the real Time Trapper shows up and then Doomsday says, all right, I'll call myself Time Trapper Keeper because he's keeping his stuff. A. Thompson, Stealth, anything good in the Dabbleverse? Well, I'm sure there's something to laugh at where you can watch somebody who had some moments of fame at some point in their lives and watch them try. Yeah. Oh, well, what are you going to do, I don't know. How long do you think this thing can last, It is an interesting question, and that's why I ask it, because that's what I do. I ask interesting questions. I got to say Lois does look better in the suit, but other than that, my guess is by the end of the story, for some great sacrifice, she'll have to give up the superpowers and go back to being Lois Lane and all that sort of stuff. That's usually how these things play out, Oh, God. I am exhausted. So that's it for Mr. Nailsin's Wednesday comics. Those are the comics I had. And, well, as always, the conclusion is Ghost Machine, Mark Miller titles. That's your best. And then, the Conan stuff. The rest, hit and miss mostly and mostly miss. And best you can hope for is some amount of interesting this or that, which is rare, unfortunately. But, well, I don't know. That's just the way it goes. Okay. Let's see. Did I have an ending theme song? Yeah, that was another thing. There was some files in here that didn't work. It was weird, But so I had to upload new ones. Yeah, there it is. I don't know. Weird things, Oh, wait. I can't read it. I'll have to go back and start over. Mumbles Slam. If only the Manson crew had known about and based their murders on Polanski's pederast proclivities, they might be exalted as heroes like Luigi. Well, Luigi's not a hero. And Polanski, but Polanski is not the one who was murdered. It was his innocent wife. So, if they had taken out Polanski and you found out later that he liked to do underage girls. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And then what about the Lobiancas? They didn't have anything to do with that. They just went in there and killed those poor people. So, there was no chance of heroism for Charlie Manson, and all because he didn't make it into the Monkees show, and he managed to get one song done by the Beach Boys that he wrote, and then his rock career didn't take off. So, he just went back to being a murderer. I guess it happens. Well, it did then. So anyway, there you go. That's Wednesday Comics with your old pal, Mr. Nailsin. And hopefully I'll survive to another day and do another live stream. Probably draw something, stuff like that. Anyway, everybody have a good day. I'm going to bed.